Native grasses in California evolved with grazing animals. They thrive on having that grazing impact, that disturbance from grazing animals. As long as the grazing animals don't stay in one area, as long as they keep moving like the herds of elk and pronghorn antelope used to do here when they were pursued by their predators. So what we're trying to do here at Pepperwood is use grazing animals, in our case cattle, to try to mimic that. So we're using electric fences and portable water systems, moving the herd regularly so they have a big impact in one area for a few days before we move them on to another paddock and give that land a long time to totally recover before the grazing animal goes back there again. And that's really been shown to be really effective at promoting native grasslands.
We raise grass-fed beef here at Pepperwood, and we do this through mimicking nature. These plants want to be grazed. They want to be trampled because that's what helps keep them moving and helps keep them thriving so that they don't become stagnant. Because what happens when grasslands become stagnant and there's no disturbance of the hoof or the bite or that saliva or the movement of the herds moving across the grassland is they start to oxidize and they lack biodiversity. And so my role is to move the animals, and the animals move those plants, and the plants move that soil. And through the energy of the sun, draw that carbon through photosynthesis down into the soil. So grasslands, especially these perennial grasslands that are here at Pepperwood, there's a really high percentage of native perennial bunch grasses. And that's what we're really aiming for. Working with nature, aiming for healthy soils to really build back that incredible carbon bank that the soil has.
The main reason we're using cattle for our grazing is the particular way they actually bite. Their body size is closest to the tule elk. They're a little bit heavier, but the way they bite is actually with their tongue. So they grab the grass with their tongue and rip it. And the native perennial grasses, that's really good for our native perennial grasses because it doesn't bite too low. There's a part of the grass that's called the meristem, which is where the grass grows from. And so if you bite too low on the grass and you damage that part of the grass, sometimes that will kill the grass. So we know our perennial grasses are really, really adapted to have a disturbance. But what's really important to them as they're drawing their energy from their root system back up to make new shoots, that they have a long enough rest period that they're able to recover. And so with our rotational grazing pattern, we're able to graze really intensely in one area and then move them out of that same pasture that they were in, allowing our native perennial grasses in that area to recover fully. And a lot of times we're not moving cattle back into the paddock they were in previously, sometimes up to a year or longer, which is really allowing our native perennial grasses to recover and fully start to flourish.